Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me on my Plan with Me week for June 27th to July 3rd. This week I'm going to be using my printable pages with the days of the week, and I went ahead and wrote in the week of June 27th to July 3rd. And I'm going to decorate the background of my pages. And again, this is in the altered book planner that we've been making. And if you haven't seen my other videos, you can go back and look at some of them if you'd like. It doesn't have to be for the exact same week. But today I decided I'm going to use my Faber-Castell Gelatos. These are bright colors, and I thought they would make a nice background to put under these papers. There's not going to be a lot of room, so I just want to add a little bit of color around the edges and to see if we can dress it up a little bit. I chose some of the colors I'm going to use, and if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll see that these are just some of my favorite colors. I've got kind of a turquoise blue and a yellow, a pink, and an orange. And I haven't used Gelatos much, so I usually just kind of experiment a little bit. I've got a paintbrush that came with it, and I've got a spray bottle of water. And I'm not sure how it's going to work on these pages. I did not prep my pages at all. I did not put any gesso on them, which might have been a good idea since these are book pages. But I'm just going to add a little bit because I only need it really around the edges because my papers are going to go on the top. I don't think I really need to do the whole thing because I want to add a little bit of water to kind of blend the colors a little bit. So I'm just going to start out. I'm going to just take some of the colors and just kind of color around the edges. I put this wax paper underneath to protect the pages, my other pages, a little bit. As you can see, I just went through and kind of scribbled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray a little bit of water on it. Just a little bit. Try not to get all of the book pages wet. I don't want a mushy mess of paper. And I forgot to bring in some baby wipes. So I'm just going to take a paper towel, wet it a little bit. And I'm going to go through and just kind of blend them together, the colors together. Again, I'm not really sure how this is going to work on the book pages. Probably would have been a better idea to prep the pages with some gesso first. But I'll see if I can not use too much water. I also have the paintbrush, but I don't know that it's going to work too well, so I don't want to add too much water. All right, I think I need a little bit more color. Try a little bit of pink. Got quite a bit of orange. I like these Gelatos. They're kind of sparkly. They add a little bit of sparkle to the page. There we go. Now that's kind of blending pretty good. Well, looks a little bit too scribbly. That's going to be covered. I think I'm going to add a little bit more yellow. Fun thing about mixed media art is you can really experiment. I think this just is going to take a little bit more than I anticipated of the gelatos. And it may have worked out quite a bit better if I prepped the pages, but we'll see. I might add a little bit of white at the end. Maybe use a stencil and see what I can do with that. I like this pink. Very pretty. Pretty colors. I'm sure you have your favorites just like me. So if you try this, yours is probably going to look a lot different than mine. It's the nice thing about art is everybody can use the same supplies, but it usually looks quite a bit different because everybody has their own tastes. All right, I think that's good for that. Maybe blend this up a little bit more. Maybe add a little bit more water to it. A little bit more. Now that I've got a good coating of it, hopefully it won't rip the page. There we go. Now that's spreading a little more. I guess the trick is to add more water. And I'm sure there's many tutorials on YouTube just for gelatos alone. I'll probably have to let this dry pretty good before I add my planning pages, before I glue it to the top. There, now it's starting to blend. Whoops, bent the page a little bit. Well, it's definitely colorful. Each time I look at it, I start to think that it needs a little more of another color, but I don't want to end up overdoing it. Especially since this is just going to be around the edges. Like I said, my planner pages are going to be in the middle. I've decided I need a little bit of something else. The colors, they run together, and the planning pages are going to be on top, so there's really not a whole lot of edges to be seen. Get a general idea of what it's going to look like. Well, I think what I'm going to try is adding a little bit of white stencil, maybe just around the edges, and see how that works. I'm going to use some white acrylic paint. I have just this apple barrel white acrylic paint. It's kind of runny, so I might have been a better idea to use thicker paint, but we'll see. I'll give it a try. So I'm just going to take the stencil and rub a little paint on it. Probably just use my paper towel. And see how it does. I think maybe the white will bring out a little more texture. Paint might be a little runny. It is a little, but I think it'll be okay. I might just do this on the other side to add paint. What I'm doing is just basically adding a little bit of texture to it. I don't even know that I really need the stencil because just adding a little bit of color seems to make a difference to it. But we'll still use the stencil. Might be easier to put the paint on. I think the problem is I need to get it in the holes. Some of it will be a little bit thicker than other parts. I've got my wax paper in to protect the other pages of my altered book. Yeah, there we go. Now I think instead I'm going to try using this little sponge brush and see if that makes a difference. Might be a little easier to get it in the crevices. I don't want it too thick. I just really want a little bit of color. And it's okay if the design isn't really show that much. It gives it more of a mixed media look. As you can see, I kind of like the mixed media designs just from my other videos. I might have used the gel plate for this. You know, I think I might try a few of these polka dots. See, this stencil's got half the zigzags and half the polka dots. So I might try a few of those and see how that works. Yeah, a little bit different. So maybe I'll put some at the top here. Now I think I could even take the gelatos and do it over the tops of the holes, and that would give it some texture also. I may give that a try here. One of the gelatos is this white color, and I'll see it kind of has different colors in it. Lunar. So we'll see how this works. Now, it's not really doing too well just like that. Maybe if I rub it a little bit. Problem is it's not getting in the holes. This doesn't seem to be working as well as the acrylic paint. Try using a paintbrush right on the gelato and see if that helps. Well, it's not doing a whole lot. I think it would need some water. So I think I'll stick with the acrylic paint because acrylic paint seems to be doing the job. Maybe just add a little bit more in the center and over here. Just a little bit. I don't want to cover up all the pretty colors, but just trying to add a little bit of texture. Most of this is not even going to be seen once I put my weekly spread on there. Maybe a little more at the top here. I think I'm blocking the light. There we go. Probably just add a few polka dots on the other side. There we go. White paint can definitely add a lot when you're using bright colors. Little in the center. All right, I think that's enough paint. So now I'm going to let it dry for a few minutes and then I'll put the pages on. Okay, I think it's pretty dry now. I'm going to take some of this Distress Oxide, this worn lipstick pink ink, and I had already gone around the edges with a little bit of the vintage photo, but I think it'll look better if I give it a little bit of pink. So I'm just going to add a little bit of color to this, to the edges. Again, I'm just using the stamp because the thing I use for a spreader has got the darker color on it. And I don't want to mix the colors. This is just to add a little bit of color to my weekly pages. And it's okay if I get a little on it. In fact, I might put a little bit on it just to give it more color. That way it'll kind of blend in with the pink instead of just being, yeah, I kind of like it actually. Brings out some of the pink in the spread. So I got that. Take my paper towel here and just kind of spread it a little bit. I'm not going to add water to it because I don't want the pages to get wet, but if I did add water it would spread it a little bit more. But I kind of like the grungy look, painted look to it. All right, so all I need to do is glue these on. And I think that's probably going to be busy enough for this week. I need to figure out where I'm going to put my dates. Probably put them on this side. All right, so I'm going to glue it on. Well, that's about it. That's all I'm going to do for this page because it's pretty busy with all of the colors and the somewhat abstract art. So I'm going to keep it at this, and when I do my planning, if I decide to add any little pictures or fussy cut or maybe even some stickers, I'm not sure. But for now, I'm going to keep it at this, and I want to thank you for planning along with me, and I hope you'll be working in your planner. Whether you use an altered book or a journal or just a notebook, whatever you want to use. You can use printables or just write in the days. You can do whatever you want. I just hope that you will be creative and that you'll make your own planner. So until next time, thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and I'll see you later.